I think I could slap this back together if I wanted. I could replace the O-rings. I have the Weisco head gasket, and probably be okay. But I also have the valve guide seals for these, and I have a full O-ring kit, and I think I have all the stuff to, I have a valve spring compressor. I've done that before, so I can rebuild this. Plus, it's fun, and listen, let's face it, it makes for great video. My clean, correctly gapped spark plugs that I'm going to use again. I want to extricate one of these valves. So this will be my first shot at it here. I don't remember using this valve spring remover on this head before. I remember using it on the Goldwing. Particularly remember using it on this. So, excuse my fingers being in the way. I just want to try to figure out exactly how this valve spring remover works. Okay, so we have it attached, clipped underneath the springs down low, and I'm screwing down on top of the retainer. I love this little spring compressor. Once you give it a couple of turns, they kind of slip in between the spring winds a little better. That'll just help sort of jiggle these retainers a little loose. There's one. Both a double. Nice. And undo the retainer. Okay, got enough gap here where I can grab these retainers out. This one is kind of going on a little awkward here. Let me have a redo with this. Finally got this in place. I kind of pried up a little bit on the spring here so that I could, a little clamp could get in there. But really careful not to pry on this soft head here. Break a chunk off of that. And then I would burst into tears. Oh, now we're talking. Those keepers already fell loose. There's one. There's the other. A double. Hey. Okay. another double. I don't know why that feels like a thing, but it does. Double. Well, great. Now I just got really good at this by the last one. Who knows if I'll ever need to do it again. That's always the way. Well, I sure am glad that I made the decision to take this head apart. It needs maintenance, you know. The leak was just telling me that it was time to pay attention. All right, I need to pull these out and not mess up the order because I almost did with the exhaust. Oh, intake 1. Okay, intake 1. Intake 2. Intake 3. And little sticky getting out of there. Intake 4. This is new ground for me. There's no seals on the exhaust side. There's seals on the intake side. I'm kind of psyched to do it. It's going to be fun. I'm going to go ahead and clean off these valve seats a little bit with my new best friend, CRC Brake Clean. And get these ready to lap in. I'm going to do it first the old-fashioned way with the suction cup. And if that's not getting it done, I'm going to attach it to a drill. But I'll go from the least aggressive for starters to the most aggressive. But let me just get them cleaned up good and see what I'm looking at here. Because if I have to bring it to a machinist, I will. But I think I got the goods right here to do this myself. All right, I just want to see what we're looking at here. About to call it a night, but just want to see what we're looking at here. See those seats there? I don't think this needs to make a trip to the machine shop. I don't think that yet, anyway. I'm not done yet evaluating it. This is the exhaust seats. Yeah, that's going to need a drill on that valve probably. I'm going to clean each valve individually so I don't mix them up. So I'm going to clean them up, put them right back into my little tube here where I have them all correctly labeled. And, you know, I can give them a good inspection too. There's issues. There's issues with this head and with these valves. Like I was saying earlier, this bike is going to run better. My goal is for it to run better than it ever has. Look at all that caked on here. Do these valves need to be replaced? Maybe. Maybe I'll just let it soak here a little bit. I'll give that a few minutes. Boy, this carbon's really stuck on here too. I'm not exactly sure how aggressive you get with valve cleaning. Like, should I just stick them on that wire wheel and take all this off? It's the seat that matters, right? Let me think about that for a minute. All right, I know what to do. Let's just revert back to the old basics. Start with the least aggressive technique and then move forward with that. So this is a soft wire brush. Doing it by hand. Let's see if we have any luck scrubbing off this carbon and cleaning up this valve. I'd ask for comments and suggestions, but this is not going to be aired for months. By the time anybody sees this, this motorcycle is going to be up and on the road and running, he says. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Well, this worked out pretty good because I was thinking of what to do to clean the carbon deposits off of these valves. I worked a little bit of brake clean. It was doing it some. And so I looked up online and saw that there was such thing as a valve carbon deposit cleaner, but it's mostly the type that you would spray, into the intake system. I think it was valve and turbo cleaner, that type of thing, mechanic in a can. And so when I walked in the door at the local parts store, a wise looking guy behind the counter says, what can I help you with? And I told him that I had valves out with heavy carbon deposits, and what should I use to clean them? And he said, ammonia. I went, that's it? And he goes, that's it. Just soak them in ammonia for a little while and brush them off. And, didn't try to sell me anything. I went, all right, thanks a lot. So here we have it. So because the valves and the intake, the exhaust valve and the intake valve are two different sizes, I can just label them in the parts buckets 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure they go back on my tube properly. And there we go. Ammonia. Who knew? Not me. I'm going to fill them up pretty good. Make sure they're really submerged well. I'm going to step back from that for a second. Carry these outside to the garage. Okay, I turned the fan on in there. Wasn't heavy fumes, but you could smell it right away. So just to aerate the room a little bit. And we'll give these a good soak. Back in my paramedic days, I remember a lady who, she was a young woman. She probably did it in the 1950s, but trying to scrub her kitchen floor in her new house, she mixed ammonia and bleach and immediately had lifelong pulmonary disease, emphysema, COPD. It was awful. Nice lady. Took her a couple times. I did a bunch of things not recording off camera, just because it happens sometimes. Camera's charging and I just want to keep going and, get into the grind and just pound out some work. So I cleaned up the valves. I put them in the ammonia for about 5 hours. I would come down and scrub a little bit. And here's where it's getting interesting. So this is tub 1. This is the exhaust valve for 1. And that is not good. So that valve face is so pitted. That's too bad. Although the seat is good. But those pits, those areas will burn. They'll keep getting heated up. And that's the only one. Here's the other exhaust valve. I cleaned them all up, and the others look like this. So I might just replace the number 1 exhaust valve. I might just buy 1 valve. Well, that's still got some carbon there right in the middle. I'll clean that off. But yeah, otherwise the stems are good. Got pretty aggressive cleaning them up. The Dremel. Had them on the wire wheel and the buffer. And so that's it. This is my only concern. So, but interestingly, so this is exhaust 1, and I'm pretty sure I was pulling this out and I went, oh wow, that one's a little sticky. When I was pulling it out of the head, I think it's this. This would also be right on the end where I found those 2 head bolts loose. They were not tightened. They were, you can't reach down in there, but they would be finger loose. Not tight at all. And that was right next to this number 1 cylinder here. So might all be connected.